Okay, so I wasn't going to do a video, but I decided to do the video because I am not going to take next year for granted. In other words, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see very much next year, so whatever I'm doing, I better get my groove on now, kind of thing, right? So basically what we're going to do today is work with the plums, which have already been cooked, okay? They're in the fridge, so they're cold. And then I just sent Andre to the apple tree, okay? And now these little apples that are falling at this point, like this tree was grafted with 3 different types of apples. This is the first apple that's coming in, which are kind of like a crab apple, right? They're a little more sour, and they're small. They're all small, right? But that's okay, because I told Andre it will be nice if I mix some plum with apple, okay? And I made him go get them for me. Now, we babysat last night. Needless to say, we didn't get to sleep until like 5:30 this morning. Right? So, and I got up, oh, I don't know, at 9:30. Pretty much. Right? Anyway, I got enough just for the flavor of the organic apple. Okay? See, this one's a little bigger. And I'll peel them, and I'll cook them up, and then I'm going to blend them up. I might not even blend them. I'll just peel them, cook them up, because I'm not even going to blend the plums, because when I cooked them, they kind of deteriorated quite a bit. And I'm just going to just make a small batch, where it's half apple and half plum, where the other ones will be plum, right? And this is all free food. People, if you notice, in all the years that I've lived in this house, yada, 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 I've always had food. It just comes to me, right? I've got my neighbor giving me some walnuts, English walnuts. And I have to husk them. That's dangerous for me with the eyes, right? Because when you're peeling them, right, you know, they spit the husk, you know, and then when you take it to a water and you're washing, right, and you're using a scrub brush, because you have to scrub off the husk off the shell, right, and what do you call it, and you know, it flies in my face, right, and then I get little little black spots all over the place, because, you know, right, it goes in my eye. So I have to wear some kind of goggles this time around. But I'm going to do them. Because walnuts are expensive. And like I said, I got walnuts from 2 years ago sitting in a bag over there that I haven't cracked open. And when I cracked one open like a month and a half ago, I ate it. It was still good. So I'm actually thinking those ones would probably grow, to which I do want to pop some into the ground this year, okay? We got to plant some walnut trees before the end of the year. Start again. Andre's learning how to be a gardener. Don't forget the tomato plants, okay? You have to water them, all right? And yes, they are branching out, and they are quite happy in there. So you were right about that. Perfect. That's all I wanted. And then, can you help me find the other bag with the other 5 or 6? I brought the bag out, but I don't know where it is. It's blue. And I'll do those ones. I'm pretty sure I brought them out here. Right? Because they were in over there, and that's not where I wanted them. So where are they? I'll find them. They're close by. Today is Auntie Shemay's birthday, or it was. Yeah. And Shemay, how old would she have been? She was born in 85. 29? Something like that. So, August 5th, 1995. That's when Shemay was born. When they're kicking around, maybe down the hall. I just moved the bag because of Rhea last night, because I moved things around last night. Hold on. Oh, and it's, yeah, it's August 5th of 2024. Okay. Before I start my day, I don't want to get angry here, people. Like, this was in its own box, brand new, okay? And there's a small one. Now, since I've lived in this house, I've had to replace the blinds downstairs between 2 sets of windows 2 times. Okay? This here is brand new for when blinds need to be changed. Or maybe I'd like to put them, I don't know. Either or. I bought these a long time ago, mainly for the greenhouse, right? To provide shade, you know, blah, blah, depending on your plants, blah, blah. Or maybe as to break up a wall, right? To hang down so it kind of, you make a kind of like a separate room, right? Either or, sat down there for years or whatever. Or came through them out in the garage, okay. I told him, listen, you need to put a window where you are, what you're building, because otherwise it's going to be too dark, and then you can hang that, because, you know, I'm thinking to maybe whatever. I just went down there to take out something to the garbage or whatever, looking around, you know, suspicious as all hell, right? I have, you know how it is. And I found those in the big fucking garbage pile that's being piled up, right along with my snow shovel, right, with fucking wood on top of it. Like this big ass snow shovel that I know Marcane likes to use in the wintertime, right? And, you know, another picture. Why are we not surprised, people? Like, what the fuck, right? Like, where did this come from? Seriously, like, where the fuck did this come from? Somebody did petty point on this. This is petty point. Okay? Like, what is it with throwing out my fucking pictures, man? Like, seriously. Somebody did, look how beautiful that is. That's all done by petty point. And they're throwing it outside to trash it. Like, seriously. Why? Like, fucking why? There's a little rip there, but it can be repaired. Either or, right? And then, you know, a few other things that I can use around the yard. Now, the other thing is, you know, when my son decided to mow the grass, he gathered everything up along the side of the house, wherever, threw it into one big pile in the front, and it's just been sitting there ever since. I'm expected to pick through it and fucking do something with it. Yeah, okay. Now, the thing about this yard is, one, it has a problem with morning glory and weeds. And after he took, it was funny, after he took everything away, because he didn't want to weed whack, he just wanted to push the lawnmower flat grass to wherever without any barriers, right? So that's why he did what he did, to make it easy for himself to mow the fucking grass without realizing that all he did was he opened up a freaking pathway for the weeds to go nuts. Like, literally fucking nuts. So, Mrs. Gill came for her rent, you know, and we were talking, and, you know, and she telling me she missing when I used to plant vegetables, right? I told her, yeah, I know, but you do realize I have people that come into my yard and steal food, right? She goes, yeah, people know you. In other words, they know I plant and, you know, whatever. And then she walked, right, and she's looking at the grapes, and she noticed what my son did. And she noticed how all the fucking weeds are like going freaking crazy, man. Going freaking crazy, man. And I'm like, well, you know, I don't know what my son was thinking when he did what he did, other than maybe he might build a garden bed. But by the time he gets to build a garden bed, that thing is going to be so infested all the way down. Like, anyway, people. Like, why? Why are you throwing out brand new freaking blinds? Because he never paid for the blinds that are downstairs between the 2 windows. He never installed them. I did. 2 times. It's like stupid. So now I'm bringing that upstairs. Threw a couple of other things over the fence. And then, because he piled up all this fucking wood out there, some of it he's not going to, well, you know, he's not using it, right? I'm going to tell him, well, before you haul it off to the freaking garbage can, like the garbage dump, you need to take that fucking wood and reinforce the compost and run a line down, right? Run a line down like it used to be, because it helps to control weeds. Oh, it's garbage, and and fuck you, get it out of here, leave me alone, it's my wood. Yeah, okay, it came off of Mrs. fucking Gill's porch. Yours, your wood. Right? Half good wood is good for just borders and that kind of crap. Just minor repairs around compost boxes. And like, in the past, I would have done it for myself, people. But it's so fucking hard. You know, and not only that, but like I said, they make a pile over here, a pile over there, another fucking pile over here. I don't know what I'm going to walk into that pile over fucking there. Right? And then my emotions start to go. That cortisol's fucking going like fucking crazy. You know, like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I can't afford to be throwing out money. I'm at the end of my fucking life. I don't want to have to replace things if I already fucking have them. Let me live my last few years in somewhat peace, being that I worked so freaking hard so that you could have a fucking house to live in. Because I'm telling you, people, if I would not have done what I did for as much as I did it in this freaking yard, we would not be here today. And my son was not out there. Oh, sure, in the beginning, we know when we first moved in, he helped me put the fucking frame for where the greenhouse is. He helped me cement a few posts out there and put the fucking main freaking chain link fence that's out there still after 14 freaking years. But outside of that, he moved a few fucking rocks and brought in some stumps for me. You know? Took things out of my car when I was bringing in things like whatever. He'd help me load up the car with fucking cement slabs from busted up freaking properties, driveways, so I could bring in here and cover up half a fucking yard of sand. Right? Like, I want to be supportive because he started a fucking company. And that's another thing. Oh my God, what happened to canning? And that's another thing. He's got his friends needling in his ear that he has, I guess, the birthright. I guess he has the birthright to take over half the fucking basement. Because that's what a mother would do for her son. Is allow him to live in a fucking basement completely empty so he can do whatever the fuck he wants when he wants. With cheap rent. Because I had his friend up here working on the sink because he had fixed it before and it was still leaking. And we were talking about it. He says, well, why don't you just empty out, let them have it? You know, I told him what's been going on, right? And how I've been feeling. This is one of Marcane's best friends. And he says, well, why not just give them what they want? You know, empty it out completely and fucking give him what he want. Now, mind you, this guy lives at his mother's house in the basement and shares it with his sister, right? And I guess they get the whole place to themselves, where the mother is quite comfortable with whatever she's doing upstairs, right? Yeah, well, you know, her life is different. She did different things. You know, she sure in the fuck didn't go out in the community and try and be a community activist and do park events and other little events and just whatever. Work with fucking 40, 50, 60 kids at one time for fucking 2 years, almost 3. Like, come on. Right? Oh, yeah, well, at least she bought a house. Yeah, well, that's because she came into the country with that on her fucking mind. Obviously, she had some kind of support system in there. Right? However it worked out for them. But not for me. No. But I said, no. Like, fuck. Because he, well, how would you feel if they moved? Well, what difference does it make if they fucking move? If I got robbed by somebody else, people? I'm already being fucking robbed. I'm being humiliated. I'm being fucking trashed on and abused. Like, seriously, like, it hurts my feelings that those fucking blinds were outside. Maybe I'd like to put blinds in that window. Maybe I want to do something different. I've been trying to think how I can make it brighter in here, and I'd have to take off the one part on top of my computer, move the books, whatever, well, to some degree or another, put some plants up there, and put fucking blinds up there. Maybe I'd like to do that, right? But no, you know, it's like, throw it out, it's in my way, get out, get out, get out. No, you get the fuck out, man. But his friend thinks, you know, I should just give it to him. Give him what they want. Give him the whole fucking basement. Throw out all my shit to accommodate them. And I said, yeah, as if that's going to stop them, considering what they're doing. And why should I have to? I don't. Now I'm going to be arguing over old fucking wood to be running a border down that way that he destroyed. Piled it up into one big fucking pile. It's amazing my landlady didn't complain to me about it. But she knows I'm working on it, so she knows what's kind of going on. And she knows I'm only capable of doing so much, right? I told her when he starts going to the fucking dump, that's when that will disappear. If it's not put back. And he won't let me put it back, even though I'm the one that put in 12, 14 fucking years into this yard. He mowed the grass one time in fucking 14 years. Like, shut the fuck up. And all you did was create a big bag of weeds worse than what it was when I first moved in. Well, my landlady's saying, oh, gee, I missed the gardens. What's this? And I'm like, I know, that's what my son created. I don't see very well, Mrs. Gill, but clearly I can see what's going on there with those freaking weeds. Does my son care? No. No. So now that I got that off my chest, I just, whatever. I braced myself for this shit, people. Those round things, they've been outside for a while. Okay, I told him, consider using the windows. It would be the smart thing to do. And then you can hang that for shelter, like as a curtain kind of thing, right? And they would work fine. They're easy to clean because they're plastic, so all it takes is a little bit of soap and water, spray them down once a year, because, you know, the garage is going to get mildew in there because he's enclosing it, right? And he's making it fucking dark. And I told him that, and he's just not listening to me. And that's not to mention with the water fucking flooding in yet. I'm like, okay, we all gotta learn one way or another, through exercise, through practice, through trying. Try one thing. If it doesn't work, try something else, right? You figure it out. But not when you're going around trashing your mother's fucking shit all the time. Like, it's stupid. You know, that snow thing, right? Those things are fucking expensive. And it was in the pile with fucking wood thrown on it. Now, was that his friend that did that? Or was it Mark Kane who tossed it and then threw fucking wood? Because, oh, fuck it. But then come wintertime, he'll be scratch, scratch, knock, knock, knock. Mom, I'll be what? He said, well, do you have a snow shovel? Oh, but yeah, like that big-ass blue one. Where is it? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, right. You threw it out in the fucking garbage, motherfucker. So don't come to me and ask for another one. Get a piece of board and go use your fucking hands. Like with a board push, right? Like, seriously. That's taking things for granted. That's being hasty. You know, they say haste makes waste, right? He's very hasty. And this wife of his encourages it for whatever strange fucking reason, because I guess she figures she's going to have a good life for the rest of her life because my son's a hardworking man and she's a woman and she's entitled to be supported by him. Yeah, okay. Well, if that's the case, get the fuck out. Go get your own stupid place. Seriously, I'll take my chances with a fucking stranger for as much as you guys trash my shit. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to calm down, be grateful that God is providing me a nice tart, sweet apple. It's more tart, it's like a crab apple, but it will go good with the plum. And waste not, want not. These are strictly 100% organic. And they will be perfect with crepes, with whipping cream, with pancakes, or with freaking waffles, or you can put it, just whatever. You'll see. I'm going to can them, and I'm just have to get everything ready. But, you know, it's like, it's frightening going downstairs and looking around. It is. It's frightening, people. Like that picture. I don't even know where the hell that picture came from, because they go into all the little nooks and crevices and crannies. That's her, right? That's what she does. He doesn't care. Like, if you fucking hate me that much, get the fuck out. Don't go stand in front of Mrs. Gill and say, "Oh, can I help you?" "Well, Mom, is there anything that you need?" "Yeah, okay. You know exactly what I need, so why are you being two-faced about it?" Like, it's stupid. Unless he's just dumb. You know, he's just a Brutus that's dumb. You know, Brutus. You know how they can get big and just dumb? Not every big man is smart. Just because he can read and write doesn't mean he's smart. Because he sure doesn't act like he's fucking smart. Sometimes. Especially when it comes to my belongings. So I'm not out of the woods yet, on people. I'm just not. Like, this is stupid. This is no way to live my life. Okay? I have a plan. I'm going to work on my plan. I'm going to try and stay sane. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to dwell on being angry all the time. Right? You know, I will do what I can in a day. And that's just the way it's going to be. Today is the plums and these little teeny weeny bit of apples. And we found those other few apples. So by the time I peel them, it won't be very much, but it will be just enough to give it a slightly different flavor with some plums. You know? And then I hear banging, and then I get all paranoid. So when they're getting like this, I just like to throw them into the compost. Right? So these ones sat in the bag, so these ones are compost. Because they sat in the bag and then they got buried. So, for what it's worth, which I don't mind, because I build up compost, right? And I had apple trees growing. Not anymore, though, because I don't get outside enough, and Andre's not mature enough to grow them. I mean, water them, right? But I'm going to try and maybe try and grow some apple seeds this winter on the windowsill, like I did when I first, and then maybe start them again. I don't get enough help. That's what it is, people. You know, in terms of like if Shimei was here, right? There's things she would do to help me, right? Anyway, okay. Well, I rescued something, but I had to bring it up on the porch, so it's piling up, right? And whatever. Okay, so what bugs me about this situation? Well, lots of things bug me, right? But, you know, Marina downstairs, right? I wanted to say that girl, this girl, right? That girl downstairs. Okay? She doesn't like to do yard work, people. Like, she doesn't help with, cleaning out the garage or anything, like, nothing. She doesn't pick up fucking garbage. She doesn't put things into the compost. In terms of, like cardboard and stuff, right? Like, you know, Marquine, they throw their boxes out into the garage. They all pile up. They get tossed around, whatever. I have to come along and either put them into the compost piles to make dirt or put them into the recycling bin, right? Like, she doesn't do any of that. She sure the fuck doesn't weed. She doesn't mow the grass. You know, she doesn't pick up garbage. She doesn't do anything, people. And the thing about it is, she's not the first person that I've had in this house that has been that way, right? Most people just keep on walking. They don't feel, right? Like, you know, like, because stupid, man. Like, You fucking live here. You should be helping out, right? Instead, she expects Mark Kane to do that as he's trashing my shit, right? And then they get upset because, like I said, it's sitting outside. It's not moving fast enough because, you know, I'm going from pile to pile. I'm in my own fucking crises, right? With upstairs shit piling up, and, you know, I've got other things I want to do or I have to do or whatever, right? I am not 28 years old and 33. I'm more like 62, right? That's a big fucking difference. And, you know, it's amazing I even do the things that I do, especially with the circumstances around my eyes. And, like, they just, like, they're vicious, man. You know, because, like, who is this girl that moves into my house, practically empties out like fucking 2/3 of it in the basement, getting pretty damn close to that, okay, and doesn't want to do any yard work or anything like that, right? You know, that feels no responsibility. But yet she wants to live here with, I guess, cheap rent because Mark Kane wants to stay with cheap rent. So therefore she blames it on Mark Kane because she'd rather move, right? She's listening to her man. So she stays, right? But she's got this entitlement mentality where she thinks something is owed to fucking her, right? And that she's the boss. She's the boss, people. And she manipulates Mark Kane to go on the attack and throw out my shit. She's got his friends now jumping on the bandwagon, siding with them, saying, yeah, Judy needs to throw out all her shit, every fucking where down there. Not even a button on the floor. And, yeah, right? Because that's what mothers do, right? For their fucking sons, right? That don't want to leave home, right? And bring home fucking, I don't know. And anyway, you know, and then we know Tisha's stance. The more that Mark Kane is required to look after me or the kids or whatever, because of our circumstances, the less responsibility is there for her. So she don't give a fucking shit what happens, right? You know, if it was her being abused, it would be a totally different fucking story. But she's not the one being abused, so why should she care, right? She's not the one being the fucking neglected, and her shit's not going out the fucking door, you know, so why should she care? She doesn't. So, you know, this girl, she knows it. She fucking knows it. But who is she? What right does she have to fucking live here, never do yard work, never help to, you know, clean up fucking anything? When it comes to, quote unquote, I guess you could say the yard, right? Or the garage, right? Like, you should see these blackberries in the back. I'm going to show you, maybe at some point throughout this video. Like, they're fucking nuts back there. Nobody's helping me, right? Somebody needs to go out there and fucking cut them back and pull the morning glory. Like, all the things that I used to do every fucking year. And because I haven't really done it, well, I haven't done it, and I haven't really been able to do it, you know? I haven't been able to do it, people. I haven't had the fucking time. I'm too busy running around fucking half scared in my own fucking house because I don't know what I'm going to find outside next, or find that it's just gone as I'm, you know, just, ooh. It's just stupid. But I have a plan. I'm moving out. I'll be supportive with my son, with his little business that he's started with his friend there, you know, outside of, in terms of, you got me here now. You got my moral support, you know. I ain't moving out yet, so you've got some sort of housing security, right? Until I leave. Because after I fucking leave, I don't care. I don't fucking care. Right? I don't fucking care. I don't. I'm tired of trashy fucking people. I don't like trashy people that just go around destroying things all the time because they're too lazy to fucking clean it, right? They're too lazy to store it away for a rainy day, right? You know, just whatever. They don't have sorting out skills. They don't know how to fucking put it away properly, right? Or whatever it is. I don't like people like that. They're wasteful. They're wasteful. Those are the ones that are wasteful. Yeah, and they do a lot of shit in haste. I'm so tired. I was up at 5:30 in the morning by the time the kids were gone and everything. And I'm like, okay, so I've got 14 250 ml, half a pint, the tall jam-sized jars in the oven. I'm washing 12 salmon-sized jars. I'm going to put them in the oven, and then I'm going to turn up the oven to 250, and that's how I'm going to disinfect the jars, because that's too many jars to be boiling for 10 minutes, and I'm not in the mood for that. Okay, so because I don't know how many, I don't think I'm going to need that many jars, but better to be safe than sorry, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to disinfect, wash them, get in the oven, get them to start on 250. They can sit like that all day, 24 hours. You don't have to worry about it, right? Until you're ready to use your jars, if you wanted to do that, right? And then as soon as they're in the oven, then I'm going to gather up all my lids, have Andre look at them for little scratches or whatever. He looks at them for me before I wash them. Right? And peel these little apples, get them cooking, and then once they're cooking and they're done, that's when I'll pull out that pot of the yellow plums, and I have the bowl with the purple plums, which should be okay because it's been about 3 or 4 days, and that's plums, and they're way in the back where it's very cold, so they should be fine. And then I'm just going to can those up after I warm them up a bit, because the jars will be hot, right? As a matter of fact, I kind of wanted to see, well, we'll wait for the gem, we'll wait for the yellow plums, because I had to put sugar in them because the skins were very sour, but on the inside it was very sweet. And for the life of me, I don't know, I was thinking like a mango because they were so sweet on the inside. I thought maybe I should add a little bit of lemon juice. So I added, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 cup of lemon juice or so, in combination with the tart, sour skins of the plums. And then I put in about 4 or 5 cups of sugar, something like that. So I'm really curious to see how it's solidified after it's been sitting in the fridge. Because when you're cooking this stuff, it's very runny, eh? But after a while, if it gets cold, because I want them for like toast, crepes with whipping cream, like I said, pancakes, or whatever. So anyway, I might have to cook them, bring them up to a really high boil, and add a couple, 2-3 more cups of sugar. But I don't want to add any more sugar, so we'll see. We'll see how it gelled up. Hold on. Okay, so we're back in this corner here. My trusty little knife. I love this knife. This brain is just going like mad here. I don't know. I don't see very well, but I'm going to do the best I can, right? You go on experience here. That's what happens when you get to this point in life. I don't think this girl downstairs will ever do anything like this. She doesn't like flies. She locks everything up. You have to keep the door closed down there. I go downstairs, I walk in, and there's, close the door. Flies. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because when you're working with food, like fly just flew by, right? Doors are open, windows are open, and like there's mildew in that basement. I don't know why they're not trying to air it out. I told my son, you need to air it out. Like, fuck, man. Making yourself sick with that shit, right? And, but she doesn't like flies. So she wants the door closed, windows closed, everything closed. Maybe a screen on the window, but either or, like, with a person like that, doesn't like yard work, Nothing. Absolutely not even one stitch of it. Feels like they don't have to, you know. Like I said, but yet you're fucking thinking you're the boss and you have the right to throw my shit out. Okay. Well, if that's the case, go outside and do some fucking yard work. You know? But that ain't gonna happen because that burden falls on my shoulders because it's my house, right? So, two-faced, right? With forked tongue, right? And, but yeah, no, she doesn't like flies. And someone like that, I don't think could do this. Unless they got over their phobia with flies. And that kind of shit. But you see, I don't know. Like I said, she comes from a middle-class household where dad went to work and supported mom basically until mom could go off and go to work once the kids got old enough. Right? And now she's taken this, whatever she's learnt at home, and she's expecting Marcane to be like her dad. Where am I? Where am I? Oh my God, did you see this? Holy crumb. Oh, there's still some there. Is that what I just seen? Yeah. See, I could barely see that. I seen it in the camera though. Because it came out darker, but here it doesn't look dark. I can barely see it. Holy shit. Maybe I should use the camera to double check, make sure there's no... Is she not going to stand here and do this kind of crap? Fuck no. So my son will... I don't know. He'll lose out. Unless he's willing to do it for himself. Because, you know, my uncles used to can salmon and shit like that. I don't know what other things they can, but they canned. So men do it, but he not gonna do it. No. And she won't do it, and because she won't do it, she thinks she has the right to mock me doing it and make me feel uncomfortable about it and move it around and do whatever and throw my shit out and but won't help with yard work because it's not her responsibility. It's like, it's stupid. And I'm like, well, just calm down. It's not the first time. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. You know, with all this drama, and I had so much drama with Austin and Sierra, so much drama with Julian and Shimei, a lot of fucking fighting and stress and just the whole 9 yards, right? And when Shimei died, it got real quiet real fast, people. Like, real freaking fast. In terms of the arguing and the nattering and just the whatever that was going on for years there, a couple of years, right? And just got silent. Went away. Same thing with Sierra when Sierra died. Whatever was going on when she'd come by and whatever state she'd be in, sometimes it'd be okay, other times not. And the stealing and just some of the stupid behavior that I was having to deal with. And it just stopped. It just stopped. And then it started up again, bullshit crap, basically, when this girl showed up. Who expects to live here, be the boss, and but not take responsibility for anything in the yard. And trying to get everybody to side with her so that she can throw my shit out. Yeah. and then manipulate my son to think that it was his idea. Yeah, sure. Okay, now, in a situation like this, okay, you can see there's, right, I just peeled it, but obviously something got inside it. So when that time comes to, I'm not going to do it all, take one now. So what I do is I just take the parts that I want, right? Sometimes you have to share. This one's really nice, so we'll save them for last. I can't compete with this shit, people. Not that I'm trying to compete here. I'm not the one that needs to compete. Okay? I'm the one that's established and being uprooted from my own home with a whole lot of fucking drama. Right? To which one day it will stop. But in this situation, I do believe it's going to have to come down to me moving and getting away from them. Yep. I do believe that. And now I just have to find the patience and the fortitude to stay in the hurricane. Because I'm like in a freaking hurricane being thrown around. And then I get caught up in some sort of tornado that whee throws me over there, and then I'm back in a fucking hurricane. I mean, how long can you live with being inside a hurricane? You know what I'm saying? Before you get thrown up against something and have your skull crushed. Or break your back. Or whatever. Because you're in a fucking hurricane. Right? But sooner or later, you would think the hurricane will come to an end, right? So in that situation, that's what I'm telling myself. The hurricane will come to the end. You just have to ride through it. Grab a few things as you're flying through the air. Oh, I see that. Give me that. I want that. Right? Tie it to your freaking ankle so maybe it can weight you down. And you can get out of that storm, right? Otherwise, you're going to just keep going. Shh. Right? Okay. You see a little apple like this? Don't let that scare you. Don't let that scare you. No. That's birds picking at it. All you do is cut it off. Ew! And she's gonna cook up that little teeny weeny apple and then eat it? Ew! What's wrong with that girl? Well, I don't know. I just know that these apples are better than the grocery store. And I take these any day over grocery store apples. Again.
Yeah, where the apple tree is packed.
It's packed? Well, then thank you for giving me forewarning, because I will pull out my other dehydrators soon, because I want to dehydrate a lot of them.
A lot of big ones on it.
A lot of big ones, yeah. Those ones you want to dehydrate. And I'll make some juice. We'll buy a few more cases of jar. I will make homemade apple juice.
Okay, well, I'm going to go change fast. It's way too hot.
Okay.
I have sweatpants on.
And of course that will be taking away from the basement. And then I'm accused of lying, not doing what I said I was going to do, which gives them the reason to go off and go behind my back and start moving around more shit, which puts me in that hurricane, right? As I tell myself, well, chances of you living in a hurricane for the rest of your life are pretty slim. So as long as you can ride the storm, even if it's a big one and a long one, sooner or later, poof, you're going to be gone. And so will your stuff. And everything else will be left behind. And that's assuming that I live. Well, if I don't live, we know how that's going to end. It's a big fucking payday. For somebody that didn't do anything to earn it. Yeah, that's exactly what that will be. So I'm going to be doing walnuts because my neighbor's collecting them for me. For the ones that aren't being eaten up by the squirrels. And we know I'm going to do the apples. And it's going to, sounds like it's going to be a mother load. And considering what's going on in the Okanagan with all the apple trees and fruit trees and didn't really produce anything because of the, the weather, I consider myself to be blessed. Right? But it's going to keep me busy. And it makes me tired, but after I'm done, I will have no regrets. Because I might not be able to do this next year, even if I wanted to. Doesn't matter if it's canning, peeling apples. Dang. And I try and take that in stride. Because that's just part of that storm I'm in. Right? And then it kind of just reminds me of when Austin and Sierra used to fight all the time and cause so much trouble in the house. And, every now and then things would go missing. Not like things are going missing now, but, thieving is thieving is thieving, right? And then Julian showed up and a whole lot of fucking fighting there and threats and bullshit. And then eventually that just stopped. And then it got real quiet. Marcane had his friend move in for a year. He moved out. I said, that's it. No more renting out the rooms. I want the house to be in peace. Remember those videos? I want the house to be in peace. I want you not to be bothered downstairs. You went through enough with your sisters and their boyfriends fighting. And you had to deal with Auntie Joan. And don't worry. Your rent is cheap. You got the whole basement basically to yourself. Minus what I was doing, right? And he lived like that for what? 3 years? 4 years? And then all of a sudden one day he just showed up with this girl. Yep. She thinks she's running the house. Because she went to university, so somehow she's smarter than me. That's what it is, people. That and jealousy. But usually when people get married, they go out on their own and they find their own way. They sacrifice, they build a life for themselves, by, I know it doesn't seem like much, okay? But it only takes a little bit because these things are like tart, right? They're really tarty. But they don't spray their tree, right? They just let their tree be. And, so you get flaws, right? You just have to work around it, that's all. And I think, and that's another thing too, when you're doing fruit and stuff, apple has natural pectin, right? Which brings up the acidity level in fruits. Where if it's a borderline low acid food, or high acid food, like a borderline, right? You do half and half with apple, and you don't need no sugar. Or even apple juice, for that matter. Alright. Okay, so I got quite a few yet to go. It will be just a small pot. I got the jars in the oven. How many jars? 12, 13, and 14. I have 27 jars. I won't need, I don't think so. I won't need 27 jars, but I'm going to put them in the oven anyway. And this way, if for some reason I'm getting into those numbers, I have them. And then, yeah, I'm going to have to buy some more jars at some point. Some for the blackberries. I'd like a case for apple juice, quart size. And they get small. Look how small that is. Shit. Alright. You're wasting your time, my son. You're wasting your time. There's no money in that, Mom. You're not making money. Like, you're wasting your time. No. I don't think so. Right. It's like a tiny house. Okay, as you can see, it's not much, but it all starts to add up, right? Okay, so you can see it's not even a half a pot, right? Almost. Think of it as natural flavoring. So hold on a minute. Okay, as usual, you can see better than me. Do you see that? And it looks like it thickened up. Yes, it did, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. When I was cooking it, it wasn't doing that. It was all runny. Huh? So I added a little extra sugar, and then I crossed my fingers. Look at that. Do you know how nice that's going to be on crepes or pancakes or whatever, right? I could feed it to Amari as is. Let me taste it. That is so, so good. Like, really good. You don't even know. And then we've got the purple ones, which I cooked up a few days ago, right? Which, I don't know what that was because, oh, it was a plate. A little more runny. So this one here, do you see how runny it is? So this one here, after I'm done, let me taste it though. Now I don't think I put sugar in it. I don't remember, honestly. Maybe a bit. And I didn't. I was gonna puree it, right? But I didn't. With the bullet, I might still do that. Let me taste it, okay? Tastes like a. That's actually pretty good. That's really good, actually. I'd almost be tempted just to leave it as is. You know, nothing. And then, of course, we got our little teeny weeny bit of apple here, which smells amazing because it dropped from the tree. Even though I got more core and apple peel in the compost than I did apple in a pot, but that's okay because we're just using this little bit as flavor to take some of this. I'll do half and half. I'll do half and half. I'll take half of whatever is here, or maybe a quarter, maybe just a quarter, because this is pretty good by itself too, right? So a quarter, and I'll just mix it in with the apple. So it would be more apple with just a little bit of plum, but it gets me a few more jars, plus it gets me a different flavor, right? This is like good. I'm surprised. Now, mind you, they're a different plum than what grows in my yard, but apparently Mrs. Gill was saying that the plums didn't come in, so I don't know. And her fig tree died. Big fucking fig, just up and died. I said, what the hell? How can a fig tree just up and die? Right? Because the neighbors next door, theirs didn't die. Because she was wondering about the weather, right? Because, you know, the weather killed off a lot of blooms and destroyed trees, right? Put them into shock, and especially up in the interior. So we're going to be having an apple shortage this year. And any kind of other fruit bearing from a tree, right? A shortage. So prices are going to go up in the grocery stores. Yeah, but I don't need to worry about it, right? I'm doing this for, you know, you get the cheap pancake mix. Oh, not mix. Syrup. And they have like different preservatives and stuff in them, you know? And you're paying like $4 for the bottle, $3.87 or whatever it is. And it's like, you know, it's fructose sugar, right? Which is different than quote-unquote sugar. And then they add in a few extra ingredients that you don't even know how to pronounce. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy this one time, but I know the apples are coming. And, you know, and no. We're going to be, this is going to be so good. Like, so good. So we'll get a spoon. Okay, I have to think strategy here now. I haven't even started my water. So I gotta move my cast iron pot there. And,
Can I grab my Switch White?
what?
Can I grab my Switch White first? I know where it is.
How would you know?
I see where you put it.
Okay, you know what? I don't see my spoons in here. Like, I can't be losing my spoons.
Can I grab it? Please?
Where's my spoons? Where's all my
Which ones?
spoons? Don't be losing my spoons, man. Okay, like seriously, don't be losing my spoons.
Okay. Can I grab it?
Don't break them either,
Can I grab it, please?
I suppose.
Okay, thanks. It's in the top drawer. Oh, no, never mind.
What's that?
I said it's in the bottom drawer. Pretty sure. Unless you moved it.
I'm not even going to blend these things up. I'm just going to can them as is.
You're just gonna can them how they are?
Oh, well, come here and taste them. Tell me what you think. Camera's rolling. Camera's rolling. Come and taste this. Nana's proud of herself. What do you think of that one?
That's good.
That is good. Try this one.
What's this one?
The purple grape. That's good too. Hey?
Tastes like juice.
Yeah, no. They're good. Really good. No regrets. Oh God, no. I don't have to buy syrup. I'm making it. Yeah. And if you really wanted to taste a little syrupy, you could open up some corn syrup, technically, and use that as a sweetener versus sugar, and then that would bring in more of a quote-unquote syrup, right? That you're used to when you buy those things in the grocery store. Which is, like, they have no fruit, right? No vitamins. This has vitamins in it, right? So now I'm going to just start scooping up some of this and put it in the pot. I wish I could see better, but I can't. But whatever. It's okay. I manage. Now the jars are done. They've been in the oven for more than a half an hour at 250. So I'm not even going to mash these apples. I'm just going to cook them as is, and they'll soften up. And if I do for a Mario, I'll have to just go like this with the fork, right? Although he tends to like his stuff all pureed now. I'm only going to add in one more. And that's it. Because I like that. I want that yellow plum as is. I don't want to change it. Not in the least. And this apple plum, yellow plum, I'll probably get, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 jars. Maybe, not 4 jars. Right? So we'll just let that apple cook for a little while. I'm thinking this needs to cook for a little bit because it's really, it's kind of runny. So honestly, I don't want to overdo it. It doesn't need sugar really, but if I put it in a pot after I'm done these two and then just heat it up, like it's halfway there, and just add in another, maybe just bring it to a high, kind of cook for a minute. And then maybe, oh, you know what I put in here? I put in coconut sugar with some maple sugar. A little bit of maple sugar that was in the jar, and then coconut sugar. That's what's in here. And it sat and fermented in the fridge for 3 days, 4 days, and it's really, really good. So maybe that's why it's really good, because I put those types of sugars in it, and I let it ferment. But it's not thick enough. So I'll heat it up. Oh my god. That's so good. Oh man. So good. Wouldn't it be a shame if I can't see next year? What a waste of a life. Seriously. I don't know if I'd be satisfied just sitting at a piano or holding a guitar trying to make children's songs when I'm depressed. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to bring this up a little higher. Oh, I wanted to fill this up. Wash it, fill it up, put it in the fridge so it's nice and cold. But I got shit, the apples will be coming and they'll be sitting in pots in my fridge, and oh my god. My son will be like, what are you doing? You told me you weren't going to do that shit no more. You see? You tell me you're going to come downstairs and you don't. Well, I'm kind of busy. Yeah, but you don't need it. Like, well, what do you know? Maybe you like, what do you call that? Fake syrup with weird preservatives in it that you can't even pronounce. I don't. Oh, I can hardly wait until I can use this thing. You don't even know. I don't know where to put it. The burner. I turned up the burner and it's burning sugar. And Andre's macaroni. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh fuck. There's something in that burner. Andre, you gotta stop getting things in the burner, man. Nana, just clean that burner.
You don't get nothing in the burner.
Oh, come here and stand here and smell it. It's burning. It's in the burner. That's what you're smelling.
I don't put nothing in there.
Well, when you pour your macaronis and shit.
That's applesauce.
No, applesauce is not burning.
I mean, not applesauce. It's this.
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
some spilt
Where?
in there.
I don't know how
Maybe-
that could have happened.
Maybe this. Maybe when you were doing it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
That's what it smells like because I don't see no macaroni piece in there.
Okay.
I'm not in macaroni.
You could be right. I got plum in there. Maybe we're cooking plum on the burner. So, okay, I gotta get the canner going with some water. I'm debating how much I want to stack and pack these things. Because I do that, right? I think I should do the yellow plum first. This is cold, and then so is the yellow plum. And then can this in the canner. I'm not pulling out the one in the fancy dancy one that I bought. I'm just going to use my pressure canner with the lid that I better be able to find, because it works fine for me. I don't want to bring out another pot. I already got pots all over the place. Anyway, I gotta come back. Okay, so whatever was in the burners, that one got back there too. I think it's burned off. No. It's hard on me, right? And then certain histamines within foods like plums and whatever, that, you know, you get a... It happens to my landlady too. She'll eat something and then all of a sudden, right? you get, I don't know what it is, but I ate the plum, but the burner, it was the burner that triggered it. Okay, so now we've got some water in there. We're going to get that going. Get it boiling. Okay. And now we're going to taste this apple plum as is. Use spoon. Alright. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just move that pot as is right there. Because we want to keep them separate, right? Oh, man. So, I'm not going to mash up the apple other than what it's doing for itself. See, my burner's... Can you hear that? Oh, speaking of that... Or maybe that's outside. Hold on a minute. Okay. That's my burner. If I turn off the burner, see, it stopped. I need it. So we definitely can taste the apple. Yeah. So we know I have to get a repair guy in at some point in the future. Oh, I don't like that. After I'm done with it, I'll pull it out and push it back in, right? Okay, so let me taste this one more time. I might want a bit of sugar in it because those apples, they're like crab apples, so they're a little tart, right? Definitely can taste the apple. And you definitely can taste the tartness of it. So I don't know. I could put tart plum apple. Tart apple plum. I could put a little bit of sugar in it, which I will do right now. We'll just heat it up. Bring it to a quick boil. Only thing it's going to do is just thicken it up a little bit more, which will be fine. Because it will make a good spread for like a, not a cinnamon roll, but maybe a jelly roll. Right? So once this is heated up, then we're going to move this pot and we're going to heat it up. And we'll bring out some jars. I'm going to start filling up the jars. And then we're going to do them for 20 minutes. Well, pint size really is like a pint, like half pint is like, I think 10 minutes really. So I'll do it for 15 anyway to seal it, right? And then we'll work on the purple plum with this pot, or yeah, this probably this pot will work. It's a little smaller, just to thicken it up a bit before I jar it, right? Otherwise it's too runny, right? So in that situation, I'd bring it to a boil, add a little more sugar with it. Not that it needs it, because it really doesn't. So it's either cook it down, thicken it up that way, but don't boil the shit out of it, right? Just, simmer it to evaporate some of the liquid, which I might end up doing. Just kind of want to get it over with, right? So anyway, I sent Lady Jane that money for the floor. I did. I chewed her out, told her I ain't doing shit, leave me alone, right? It's all funky, Kent, I'm annoyed, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then, I got my own life to worry about, and then, I'm doing these videos, right? And I'm like, doing this time for little Peter and his family, considering everything that I'm doing. I mean, come on, people. I'm going to be challenging myself. I'm going to put this back here. I'm going to be challenging myself by the end of summer, and everything's all said and done, to see if I can bring my grocery bill down for 1 year at $500. And I'm like, okay, how could you budget that? I'm like, you'd have to divide 12 months into $500. And what would that leave you? I don't know. I can't think. Not much. I need a calculator. I'll go get one. I got a bit of a headache, right? I had a headache yesterday, or was it the day before? I took 2 Tylenol. And pending, right? Because, it's hot and I'm working hard. I worked outside. So, it would be like a challenge, right? Like, can you do it, Judy? Do you think you can just spend $500 and nothing more than $500 over a period of 12 months to supplement your groceries? Because that's odd, okay? Because I got powder milk and stuff like that in the house. I do have egg powder. It's hard to say what kind of shape it's going to be in, but they're in jars, so that, maybe I still might be able to use them, because I bought them a long time ago, right? For just like basic things, cooking bread or cake or something like that. Otherwise, I'd have to buy eggs, right? But milk, I've got tons of milk powder in the house. I don't have to. I shouldn't have to, right? And Like, seriously. Let me get a calculator. Hold on a minute. Okay. So you see, this is where my mindset is at, right? And I basically I told Lady Jane, like, you need to tell Mama Peter that I'm in crises. I have to prepare for when I go blind. I got to get a handle on my finances and, get my own life in order here. And I've got other responsibilities, and that, I believe in. I told her to tell Mama Peter that I believe in her. In other words, she's got the roof now. She's got the pressure canner where she can cook up cow's feet and make money on that. Plus, I did the floor. I sent money for the floor, the lanterns, whatever, rugs, whatever. Lady Jane will figure it out. I gave her more than enough money for it. And I told her to tell Mama Peter that she should be thinking about opening up a part-time daycare with lunch or dinner provided. Right? As an income. When she's not cooking up her cow's feet in her pressure canner. Because at some point this woman's gonna, she has to find a way. Because I can't keep doing this. Right? But then on the other hand, where I'm at right now with life, with my own shit going on here. So if my budget was $500 for the year in groceries at a grocery store, it didn't matter if it was eggs at the corner store or eggs at the groceries, like eggs at like the little gas station corner store kind of thing, or whether I went to a grocery store and bought them bananas, that kind of stuff, right? So if all I allowed myself was $500 for the year, divide by 12 months, how much would I be allowed to spend each month to supplement what I have in my house? $41. So I'm allowed to spend $41 every month at the grocery store. There's a challenge for you. Can you do it? And that's all you can spend. And feed your family $41 a month? I could. That's the point. That was the point of the whole fucking exercise here. Go into my videos. I said it. There's going to come a day where, when Mrs. Gill comes for her rent, and I'll be like, no problem. And she'll say, wow, the world is crashing around us and lots of people aren't paying their rent these days. And I'd be like, yeah, but Mrs. Gill, I've been food prepping for a long time. I don't need to go buy groceries, not pay you rent because I gotta go buy groceries. I could pay you rent and not have to worry about groceries. That's basically where I put myself at. So if I really wanted to get cocky and challenge myself, literally, with that, well, all you're allowed to spend, bitch, is $41 a month on groceries. I don't care if it's eggs. You want eggs? Go on, spend your $41. But after that, you don't get no more. So whatever eggs you buy, you better use them wisely, right? Or whatever, right? If you spend your $41 all on lettuce and then have nothing left over for anything else for the month, well, that's too bad for you, because you got the seeds here and the grow lights to grow them. So you don't have to go buy it. You can figure out a way to grow them, right? Lettuce, that is. So, and that motivates you, right? To do that, right? To grow them. So, I don't know if I could just do $41 a month. That's for a whole year? Oh my God. I mean, I could if I had no choice. It wouldn't frighten me, that's for sure. I wouldn't be scared. But it's just, you gotta really be self-disciplined for that. So, with what's going on with Mama Peter is I acknowledge the fact that where she lives And just with her culture and the way the society runs and the pressures of the society itself in terms of Uganda, the society, and what's going on in the country with the immigrants moving in and settling and starting their own communities, and you know they can assimilate, but they don't necessarily participate. You know, they congregate with themselves and build their own little community, while everybody on the outside, well, it depends on what sect within a particular religion and what their agendas are. Right? Don't forget about those agendas. So, you know, I told Lady Jane to tell Mama Peter that we women, we need to stick together and work together so that the kids, you know, can grow up safe and healthy and happy, because that little boy sitting up on that street, man, with, you know, the way that whole situation played out, and I still haven't done a follow-up video on that ghoul that was walking behind that Joel dude, but clearly something was sinister about that little boy sitting up on that street, and it really bothers me every day. Really, I think about it every day, and I'm just like so thankful that little Peter is not in that position, right? And therefore, you know, I just thought, well, if you can spend whatever I spent on that fish, on that meat, on those jars, and then go in my room and see all that shit, and then say, well, if I had to, I could feed my family, and we're talking my family, not just Andre and Amari. I'm talking about my family. For a year, at $41 a month, if I had to, and I had no fucking choice, I could do it. So with that, and I'm thinking, okay, well, you gave her opportunity. I'm heating up in here with these burners, right? I gave her opportunity, people. She can open up a little part-time daycare, hopefully, you know, provide the lunch, right? Because the kids are coming by anyway, you know? And some of these parents, maybe they will pay you a little bit of money to watch their kids so that they can be at ease, not worrying about anything, because they know they're in a safe environment and receiving good food. Maybe even cow's feet, which has even more nutrition in terms of the vitamins, right? And the minerals because of the beef, right? And, you know, some parents in that neighborhood might like that. And maybe Mama Peter will start a trend. It'll be her first daycare, or X-Club, right? And just start off at a part-time level and cook your cow's feet. And but other than that, like, I'm not doing no more donations for a long time, unless it's like dire emergency where they have no food. Then maybe I could see myself, right? I'm not going to worry about trying to connect with the Africans across the street, about trying to help the community in general, including Mama Peter and the family, and just the community in general, until such time maybe we're doing hall parties. Then that's when I'd say, you know, well, I have this community in Uganda that, you know, would benefit from blah, 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 blah. Would you be interested in, you know, helping me to promote that at these hall parties so that we can generate some funds and, you know, stick to the plan, you know, but outside of that, like, Lady Jane has to just understand that I have my own problems. That's the first thing. And I can't afford to adopt a family, never mind one in Uganda, in terms of, like, being consistent with the support, right? And, you know, I gotta pay attention to this so I don't burn it. Okay. We don't want to burn it. I'll turn it down a bit. We just want to heat it up a bit. Because we already know it's at a good thickness, right? This is a flat no bottom to the pot, so it tends to burn fast. So gotta be careful. To which it seems like it's already sticking. Right? And then also too, I had, you know, because I am finishing up with the food prep, is how else I justified it, right? You know, when you're doing like bulk, right? Rice, beans, wheat, whatever it is, right? You know, you have to put it away properly so that weevils don't get into it, beetles don't get into it, freaking moths get into it, or whatever, right? And, you know, I have to backtrack on a few things downstairs and rebag them and whatever, and so I ended up buying more Mylar bags at 3 different sizes, 1 gallon, 2 gallon, and 5 gallon, which was a fair amount of money, and oxygen absorbers, enough to finish the job as I work between that pile, that pile, that pile, and that pile, right? And then whatever's left over, I'll give a little pile of those Mylar bags with a few packets of oxygen absorbers to my son and his wife. I'll tell them, this is yours. If you go to Costco's and you buy something in bulk, that's what you do. You've seen me, you know what's going on, so that they maybe learn how to do it. Right? Because they're, or maybe they'll just ignore it and let that shit fucking sit there and do nothing. Because that'll be their problem if they don't take my advice. Because sooner or later they're gonna get a bug infestation and they won't like it. Right? So I had to buy, and I bought some more jars too. 8 1 gallon size jars, because those potatoes and those sweet potatoes and those things that are in my room in Ziploc bags, I don't like it. I never did like it, but you know, I was trying to cut back, right, and slow down with the materials that you need to do that stuff, right, in terms of food prep, right? But I got stuff in here that needs to be done. There's things I gotta do downstairs, and I said, oh, fuck it, right? So I ordered from 2 different places, Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, jars, right? I had to pay for delivery. And then because I was annoyed that when I cleaned out my little space there where I had all that shit with the beeswax and the candle making wicks and all that, I'm missing 2 things of beeswax, and but I think I took them and put them in my sewing room because I want to make that slab, because my son, his joints, they pop and shit, right? Because you know, he's always doing whatever, right? And Andre says when he's like exercising and stuff, you know, it's popping here, popping, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can probably make him something that he can just go like this with the slab with the comfrey and the beeswax on it, and it might help him, right? On top of like Andre injured his knee or whatever, or even Mari with his feet, depending on what it is, right? Because his goes like this, right? And just a, it's you know, it's a healing property, right? As long as you don't overdo it. And so I broke down and I bought some organic beeswax to compensate for what I lost. Although I think you know, I think what I lost is in my sewing room. I'm so hoping so. Other than that, I couldn't wait to figure it out, so I just bought the beeswax, so I have it until, you know, I have enough to keep me happy for a couple of years. Once I'm done doing everything, you know, and then I'll be like, okay, now we're making slabs, right? You know, and this is what this one's for, and this is what this one's for, and, you know, this is what this one's for, and assuming that I can see, right? And you kind of need beeswax for that, right? And if not me, then somebody in the house might do it, but not at this point. If Shimei was around, she'd be canning by now. Yeah. She'd already be canning. Okay, so my water is boiling. So we'll just turn that down for a minute. Now we're going to fill up the jars. So with all that, I'm like, if you can't help a little boy and his family, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Because I'm not trying to brag, and I've said this before, people. I don't do these videos to brag about anything. I just do them because, you know, non-profit and just whatever. And I've been doing this so long, and, you know, I give out little tidbits of information here and there in regards to, you know, what I've learned with the canning and, you know, or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Just wisdom from experiences and that kind of stuff. Right? And I just felt that I think it would have been very selfish of me to continue doing these kind of videos that I'm doing right now. And obviously it's costing money, right? But I'm at the end of my game, so it's not like after I buy these Mylar bags, and I'll show you when they come in, and I'll tell you how much I paid for them. And if my son and his wife want to, oh, why did you do that? You know, and I'm like, okay, well, go ahead, buy your fucking rice, throw it in the fucking cupboard, and when you come back and he's crying on about all these moths now, don't come crying to me. I gave you the materials to prevent that from happening. Right? If you want to be knuckleheads and not learn anything, well, that's your problem, not mine. But just so you know, the Mylar bags are over there, so are the oxygen absorbers. I've got mine upstairs for my stash, and I gave you, out of the kindness of my heart, your own little stash, whether you use them or not, right? Just saying. But if I can do that, and buy 8 more 1-gallon size jars for French fries, dehydrated French fries and that kind of crap, right? Well, I did what I did because I said to myself, now that woman really has, Mama Peter, now that woman really has a fighting chance to ease in gainful employment for herself where it's doable. It's doable. Right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lady Jane said she'll do a follow-up video. So when that time, it will be a little while though, because, you know, we're talking a floor here, right? So that's, you're looking at rock, cement, gravel, right? A whole lot of stuff to gut the place. It's going to require a full day of intensive labor, and then it has to dry, and yeah. And then, you know, anything left over miscellaneous, well, we'll find out what Lady Jane's going to do with it. Other than that, I just, you know, I'm focusing on paying down bills to bring down the interest, right? And then so that, you know, eventually I'm going to have to move, right? And something's going to change, right? So I want to be able to not get all stressed out about it when that time comes. And because I don't have to buy groceries, you know, okay, I'm going to be boiling away my water here. Slow down. Why won't you go? Slow down. Slow down. I don't want to burn myself. I think there's something wrong with this burner. And then, of course, I have repairs, right? This is boiling way too fast with the burner way too low. So there's something wrong with that burner. So I have to do, like, you know, I got to do repairs on my appliances. They're old, right? That costs money. Eventually, I put off my eyeglasses. I'm going to go and find a place and talk to them about getting eyeglasses, but I put it off for another month or two so that Mama Peter had a chance to maybe create herself a job, as well as little Peter and his siblings have a more comfortable home. You can't help everybody, but you can help the one. So that's basically what I did. But I'm also pulling back a little bit in terms of no more for a while. I gotta get a handle on my life, right? And if you notice, when I'm saying this is the last time, this is the last time, this is the last time, in other words, I'm putting boundaries on myself, right? Last time I'm buying Mylar bags, last time I'm buying oxygen absorbers, last time I'm buying freaking fucking 1 gallon jars, right? That's the last time. That's it. Just like I'm not canning fish no more. I'm not really canning meat no more outside of maybe the short ribs. So I gave myself a little slack there, right? I might do the short ribs. But when it comes to anything else, when it comes to meat, no. Not interested. Don't need it. And just for the fun of it, I won't worry about it right now because I don't want to stress myself out too much. But maybe in a couple of months when things calm down and everything's a little more organized and whatnot, maybe I should take my own challenge and say, okay, Andre, we got $41 for the budget to spend at the grocery store for a month. So you better start planning your meals. Yeah. Because that's it. You get 41 bucks for the month. Wouldn't that'd be an interesting video. All right, people. Well, it's been 31 days, and this is what I bought with my $41, and I was actually successful in terms of feeding and doing and whatever we've been doing for a whole month for a measly 41 bucks. Wow, that'd be amazing, man. You know how much money I can put onto my bill if I don't have to buy fucking groceries? Oh my God. Huh. I'd be like laughing to the bank. Oh yeah. So that's why I'm putting down boundaries. So in some ways, well, I don't want to say in some ways, I'm going to end this video here in a minute. What is it with this thing still boiling like mad? No. This burner is way too fucking low for this shit. There's something going on here. What's going on? Where am I with this? Oh yeah. It's beet red, and it was on freaking 1. So you know something's wrong with that burner. Lady Jane, this is what I mean. I gotta get on with my own fucking life here, okay? I gotta fix up my own stupid shit. That requires a repairman to come in and check things. Now I will pull out the element, but you know, this is an old stove, so because you don't boil on max on setting of 1. Right? Okay? I heard it. But it's okay, it's hot now. Alright, so let me get these things in the jar. Hold on. Okay, I want to show you why you want to use heavy pots with those extra bottom pieces on the bottom of the pot. Because if you don't, do you see that? It's all burnt inside there. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway. Yeah, it's freaking burnt. 3 different spots. Because it's just a stock pot thing. It's useless. Anyway, I caught it in time. Right? I wasn't paying attention. I knew better. But I'm getting tired. I didn't want to, oh yeah. Yeah, switch pots around anyway. Don't worry about it. Okay. The salmon-sized ones are the apple with the yellow plum. And I only got 5 jars. but it has a slightly different taste, and of course it's tarty, right? And then of course we've got 14 jars of the yellow plum by itself. So that's good. Now I'm going to can these up. I'm going to probably have to double layer it, or I don't know. I can only get 8 8 of those on one row. Anyway, I'm going to stack and pack them, so hold on. Okay, so I've got 14 jars, I think, on the bottom, though. There, right? Now, like, there's 5 of those, and whatever I've got left, I don't know. I might get 5 more, which means I could only get 8 in there anyway. So, I am just going to stack and pack. Now, 10 minutes for a half pint, but I'm going to, oh my lord, I can't stand it with this no fucking eyesight shit. Where's that? Oh, here. 10 minutes for that, but I'm going to give it 15 anyway, and, there's a short going on in my stove. I can hear it. Oh, joy. Right. So, I have elements. I have to remember where I put them. I bought, right? Extra elements. So maybe the element just needs to be changed, but good luck finding right now, because, you know, everything in my head's being mixed up because my shit's being fucking mixed up around here. Right, now I could try and chance it with those purple plums and, you know, maybe put them in here. Because if I could do it all at one time, that would be great. I'm done. I just don't know if I'm going to get, I don't know how many jars. I'm not going to have enough room. I don't think so. That'd only get me to like 4 more jars in here, maybe? Or if I just, I mean, I could get them in there and leave out what's left. There's an idea. Maybe I'll do that. And this way it's done with, right? So, why don't we do that? It'll save time. As long as you've got an inch or 2 over the jars, then fine, right? And then, I'm going to see if I can get them in there. See, well, it will, fine, it holds 8. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think it holds 9. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'll try 4. Didn't cost me anything except for a little bit of sugar and some jars. That was it. And then I guess we can calculate approximately how much we're spending here in terms of like if we were to buy it in a grocery store. Right. This isn't even warm. This is really good. I honestly don't want to waste it. So, just have to warm that up. I'll be back. I'll have to plug this in. Yeah, I can only get 8. Anyway, you can see what's going on there, right? So we've got this one here and a little bit left in here, to which, after the fact of doing these ones the way I'm doing them, and it works because I've done it before, right? And it's just fruit, so it's okay. As long as your water line is, see, this is what I like. This is why I like using this, because it's nice and tall, eh? It's sturdy. As long as your water line is a little over an inch of the jars in general, you're good. And then what I use as a lid is a, I guess you could say pizza pan, but it's really nice and solid. It's okay. So what I'm going to do here is I turned up the heat, so I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and then we'll, from that, when it starts boiling, right, that's when we're going to, I'm going to do it for 15 minutes. Technically you only have to do it for 10, but I'm doing it for 15. And what I think I'm going to do after the fact is I'm going to fill up these jars right now.
So to get instant access to it right now, just click the button on your screen and put in your email.
So I pretty much used all my jars, so that's pretty good. I don't think I'll have no more than 2 jars here. A jar over there. In terms of what's left, right? So we'll fill up with what's left, and then I can either freeze it. I mean, I don't really have any freezer space, so yeah. See, actually, I'm glad I did it this way, because for what it's worth, I'm not even getting a full jar. So technically, I could. All you need to do is just click the button on your screen right now. And listen, if you're I could put both of these in the fridge and eat them up in the next week, because there's sugar in them, right? So it's basically preserved to one degree or another, not like a jam, but and maybe Andre and I will make pancakes for what it's worth. So I only have to do this once, because all I got was a half a jar. 1.5 jars left. And that's not worth canning for like this. Right? I'll just put them in the fridge after they cool. You see? And I'll give the smaller one to Amari with his meals. Oh my God, that's hot, hot, hot. I can turn off the oven now. Off. Unscrew this lid. Maybe take some out, because when it, well, no, I'm just putting it in the fridge, right? So I'm just going to leave it as is. It might even seal itself. And being that I'm not canning that, I'm just going to use an old lid, right, versus a good lid like I did there, to which actually I should take that out, you know, take that off and wash it, and because that one's never, it's brand new, right, never been canned with. Jars are hot. There we go. So, because this has never been canned with, I'm going to wash that and dry it and use it with the next canning session for this side. But these ones are scratched or been used already or whatever. So, and because I'm going to just put these in the fridge, I'll just put that on there gently. Let it cool down. And yeah, that's it. That's it. I don't know. How many jars did I get? 8 and 14. 8 and 14. I'm so tired. 8 and 14. 22 jars, right? Yeah. Approximately 240 because you go a quarter-inch headspace, okay, for this kind of stuff. That's pretty good. So because it's organic, we'll just say $2.25 a can. We'll just say, right? Really, you could probably do $2.50 a can. So 22 times 250. If you were to buy it, it would have costed me $55. Now, mind you, I'm paying for jars, but you know, I won't be paying next time around.
Even as a teen, I still shave, and I would nick my head.
I don't know if next time around is going to come around, though.
By the way, did you know everyone calls theirs an Adam's
That's
apple?
the thing.
I can get any style with my Phillips and Rocco one
And
blade.
before my son would can plums and that kind of stuff, he'll just go to Costco's and buy a big box of Pop-Tarts. Yeah. And pre-processed whatever it is he buys when it comes to that kind of stuff. Which works for him, but not for me. And then that's when we have a clash of values. And for whatever strange reason, his values are more important than mine. So he says. Well, he doesn't say it like that, but he insinuates it. Okay. So we know those two are going in the fridge, and maybe tomorrow Andre will make some pancakes. We'll make them like homemade, right, from a cookbook. So I'll look for the. I don't know. I'll find something here. And I got whipping cream in my fridge, which should be still good, and maybe I can whip that up. Oh man, like whipping cream liquid, right? But I'll whip it up and make actual whipping cream with pancakes and this. Oh, that'd be good with butter. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with that. No. I have to Mickey Mouse everything around in here. So as soon as I hear that boiling, I'm good to go. Yeah. So, if you're looking to save money, long term, I would invest into jars now, if I were you. Right? Seriously, I would. Okay, these ones are not, I gotta keep these separate. I gotta keep these separate. Because they're going in the fridge. Because jars are getting more and more and more expensive. But once you have them, you have them. Alright, so now I got my towel here, and I hear it. Then I'll start my time, 15 minutes. When you turn off your burner, don't lift off the lid too fast. Give it 5 minutes to calm down. And then when you do start to move the lid, just kind of crack it open a little bit and give it a few more minutes, and then take out your jars. Right? So, do you hear it rocking in there? Right? That's why I like it. When it comes to full boil, I just turn it down just a tad bit. Right? Because we're at 15 minutes. Okay? So whatever your oven didn't disinfect at 250 degrees, and they were in there for an hour or two anyway, they'd be disinfected, okay? But now, because it only takes 10 minutes in boiling water to disinfect your jars. So you're covered. You're good. Everything's good to go. Okay, so that's done now. I just turned it off. Turned off the you know, not the heat. So I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking. I have to go outside and work tomorrow. My son put my fabric rack that I used to have fabric on in my 14-year-old food storage in the fire pit. Because I don't have no place for it downstairs. I'm trying not to get upset about it, people. I've had that fabric rack since I moved into Vancouver, and I found it in 1995 when I'm driving down the road. People would, you know, put things out on the road, right? It was, oh, I love it. I love it. When I used to do costumes, man, it was so easy to, because it's like stacks, right? And big, you know, fair, right? And I look a lot of different fabrics in it. And then, so now, but it's a metal that rusts, right? But I just covered it up with blankets and stuff. The blankets are up here now. They washed them for me, but anyway, they washed them for me because you're right, and whatever I have there, but besides that point. And then, of course, it went out in the garage. I've been trying to figure out where the hell I could put it. I'd like to bring it upstairs and put it in the playroom, but I'd have to remove other things, and I don't want to do that. And I can't put it in Tisha's room because there, you know, that there's a problem with the, you know, the gutter and stuff, and you know, it's just, so I can't do that. And now it's in the fire pit. And I'm like, okay, life changes. You know, it never stays the same. You should know that by now. This is nothing new, right? Sooner or later, you're not even going to see it, so why should you care about it? Well, I've had it since 1995, and I really like it a lot for what I was using it for. And I don't want to give it up, but anyway, now I'm like, okay, well, you got planter pots and all this crap stacked up against the wall, like the fence, right? Behind the tree there. You could move all that more labor-intensive work. That's not considered work. I could move all that stuff that I have there now, put those racks in there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but you know, it's the moisture, right? It's in the air now outside, and with damp moisture, and it's metal, and it's going to attract water. And even if you cover it up with plastic in between each, right? It's, oh my God, I don't know what to fucking do with it, people, because it's just going to rust out outside. That's just what I'm trying to say. It's not going to survive because it's already kind of starting to rust. If you wanted to, you could sand it down and paint it, and it would be beautiful, right? Like, I'm like so desperate to try and find a spot for it, but I don't know where to put it. I don't know where to put it. I don't want to lose it. But I have to lose it. Or just settle to be using it outside as it slowly but surely deteriorates because of rust. Well, I can't prevent it from that. But the moisture outside, that's just a accident waiting to happen. So, needless to say, I'm mourning my fabric rack. Right? I don't think it's fair that I should have to do this. Listen, I worked so hard all these years, spent tens of thousands of dollars, people, on food prep, so that at some point I could relax and get back to sewing or whatever. Yeah, get back to sewing once I felt secure with food security for myself, my immediate family, which would be Amari and Andre, and then my so-called extended family, which would be Marcane and his wife, Tisha, and Alex and her kids, right? And maybe my son Brooks, if he came by when he was hungry, right? You know. And now that I'm there, it's just stupid. So anyway, I'm thinking about this $41 a month for 12-month challenge for groceries. I'm thinking I should maybe put it at $100 a month. Start with 100. So you don't get like discouraged before you even start, right? Can you feed yourself and your family for $100 a month? I could. I could even do it at $41 a month if I wanted to bad enough, because I already did it when Uncle John was medically kidnapped. I'd spend a couple dollars for a couple of potatoes at the corner store and buy, a carton of eggs here and a carton of eggs there, right? And some milk. And that was it. And a few bananas. That's all I ever bought. And an onion or two from the corner store. I did that for a half a year when they took John because, I was being bankrupted, right? I got stuck with all the bills. That was done with malicious intent, by design, by the public union sector to keep the poor poor. Yeah, that's exactly what happened there. So anyway, I'm thinking maybe September, October. I'm not going to worry about it right now because I got too many other things on my plate. And we know that cortisol is going in my brain. And, every now and then I like shopping for something. So before I cut myself off completely from that habit that I have, my feel good habit, I think maybe I should budget it in where I can we'll just say November 1st or December 1st or something like that, where I have $100 to budget for the month for groceries, whatever they are, to compensate what I don't have. And see if I can do that, just for the fun of it. Right? $50 every 2 weeks. That's our budget, Andre. Right? Get into some meal planning. Right? Look around for things that should be here. Should be. And just see what happens. Right? I can't move out people with a high debt load. And I've always had a high debt load. Forever. Ever since I started in the nonprofit and the government illegally cut me off of welfare. As soon as I got credit, that was it. I got cut off of welfare. And because I was young and dumb and motivated to work on the foundation, invested thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, lost the money there. Of course, I had to support my family, used my credit cards basically to do that. Right? Did sell a few costumes, but nothing like the good old days. And moved in here, and anytime you move into a house, there's extra expenses. You know, I had to buy more tools. I had to buy wood or when I couldn't find it to build things or whatever. You know, hoses, whatever, screws, I had to buy whatever, you know, just shovels, pitchforks, just all that crap, right? You know, it all added up. I had to pay men here and there every now and then to do things for me that I couldn't do for myself, like when I paid, I can't even remember his name right now, but he put the roof, he built the roof for me on the greenhouse. And then I paid other men to put my windows in that I got, right, from a house that was being demolished. I had to pay them too. And then I paid men to put that car canopy up by the hen house area. I had to pay men to do that, right? And I had to pay men at one point some money where my landlord didn't pay to have that leaky roof repaired, to only end up becoming another leaky roof because it just didn't work out. But whatever, I had to pay for that. So anyway, so I'm thinking, like I'm so tired, man. You don't even know. But I got these russet potatoes, and I still have the red potatoes. So I'm thinking, since I'm in the kitchen right now, and my big ass pot is out, I haven't put it away yet, for the one that I use for blanching, right? Maybe I should be making some French fries. Blanch them, and then put them in the dehydrator, so they don't go to waste. And then tomorrow, like do that tonight, right? And be done with it. Do a half a bag, at least a half a bag, right? And then tomorrow, and then this way they don't go to waste, right? And then tomorrow, I have to go outside. I have to go out in the back and do something. I gotta look for another container for those jars that I made with the rack. I have to do something with my fabric rack because I'm going again into mourning, people. Like, I'm mourning my fabric rack, and I don't want it to get destroyed, I guess you could say, too quickly. But being that it's going to be outside, doesn't matter what I do to try and protect it from the elements. What's rusting is going to continue to rust. But I suppose in a year from now I won't give a fucking shit because I won't be able to probably see it, so why should I care, right? But I do care, and that's the problem. And I think I know what I can do with it, which makes sense, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know what makes sense anymore, people. They're disrupting my life so fucking much, it's pathetic. Like, they're freaking, like, I don't know, like trolls or something that just go from spot to spot and just, like I said, worse than fucking tweakers, man. That's what it feels like. And they're making it harder for me. Even though my son may be thinking he's trying to make it easier, but no. In many ways, you're making it harder. So, but I got laundry to do. So maybe if I do the potatoes, rest after the potatoes, and if I rest, then that means I fall asleep, right? Fall asleep for a little while, get up, try and do some laundry, and then get outside. And it's going to be a real freaking chore to try and put that fabric rack where I think it might make sense, unless I come in from around Mr. Lace's cat house. But now it's intensive labor, heavy lifting and dragging and moving things, and nobody helps me with this shit. Like, it's stupid. And then I gotta cover it up with something, so I got old plastic outside, but I have to wash it first. Right? Just because I gotta rinse it off and take a brush to it here and there, just to, you know, otherwise it's grimy, right? Because it's been kicking around forever. And then I figured to tarp it up, like plastic, like put plastic instead of fabric. I'll put plastic. I'll poke a, but you know, if I don't poke holes, and moisture gets in and it starts to pool at the bottom, everything's gonna rot and get algae and bleh. And then if I do poke holes where it can drain, then it just drains down to the next rack. Like, that thing can't be outside, man. And I don't know what to do with it. And I don't want to give it away, people, because I'm stuck in the bloody past. I haven't given up on my life yet. I want to get back some of my good old days where, you know, I don't know. But if I don't do that, then I'll do something. There's a rat in my shed. We found it. I smelled it. And there was, a cat caught a different one. And anyway, I keep sending Andre out there, right? Smelling, he goes, yeah. And I said, well, then that means there's one inside. What happens is you open the door to the shed, right? The bloody thing, they run in. And then you close the shed. And then it ends up dying in there because it can't get out, right? Basically, right? Because, you know, I kind of made it rat proof, right? Because, you know, I worked really hard on that shed, right? It happened to me once before, a few years back. A rat got in there, and I guess I locked it in. And by the time I went back in there, it was already... So I had to pull everything out to find it. And then once you take it out, then it's fine. Well, I'm going to have to do that tomorrow. Among everything else that I do outside. And you know I'm going to get grimy. And then on Tuesday, I'll probably go downstairs underneath the steps, deal with that, reorganize it, do inventory, call it a day, and then be told it wasn't good enough. And then say, well, when are you coming back? Well, I don't know. I'm kind of busy. You do realize, like, I'm twice the age of you, right? And I don't move as fast as you can. And I'm not as strong as you are, considering everything I've been through in frickin' life. And I'm behind on a whole bunch of shit because you went out of your way to make it that way for me. So what the fuck? And you're constantly putting me into mourning. As if I don't got enough to mourn on about. Not including my dead daughter, Shimei, who happens to, this day, August 5th, would be her birthday. So, since I'm not going to have no time to do these, except for maybe today, don't forget we still got those red potatoes, but I can do that in a few days from now. I don't have to do them right now. I need jars. And that's another thing, I have to go to the bank. I have to go out at some point. And basically on foot, walking there, and maybe taking a taxi back after the fact. Because I'm going to buy Andre a watch. I'm going to stop off at a eye place and try and connect with an optometrist that maybe I can establish a relationship with, where I can trust the work will be good, and start making plans at some point to get a couple of pairs of prescription glasses. But, you know, I have to budget that in, which isn't happening for a couple of months anyway, but at least I'll start the process, right? And then we're going to go to the bank, deal with the bank. Even if they close that account, it doesn't matter to me, or whatever the fuck they think they're going to do with it. Because once I'm done doing whatever I'm doing by winter time, I'm gathering up my court papers from Fraser Health Authority, from CIBC Bank, and I'm sending it to head office in freaking Toronto, and I'm going to ask them to investigate Mr. Bernard John Duncan's bank account that is still lingering, even though he's been dead how many years? And isn't it interesting that that thing never got fucking dealt with? Yes, because he was medically kidnapped, people, and they robbed him of his family, they robbed him of his life, and they robbed him of money that he didn't give jack shit about. But they robbed him anyway. And what's the bank gonna do? From Toronto, the head office, send me a letter and say, well, we're sorry, Miss Chorney, you can take it to the complaint department? Yeah, okay. If they do something stupid like that, then you know head office is involved. If it's just a bunch of greedy bastards working at a local fucking branch, go find them and fire them if they're still employed by your company. Seriously. Yeah. So I don't care if they close it or try to close it. Well, you know, what you gonna do? Well, I ain't signing shit. Don't ask me to fucking sign shit. Yeah. So that fight's not over yet. Nope. And neither is Shimei's fight over, or Sierra's. Amari, well, apparently there's paperwork that's missing that this lawyer said she couldn't see, and it was kind of important to see it, but for whatever strange reason, it wasn't there. But based on what she did see, Amari got injured before 34 weeks gestation, based on her experience in interpreting medical files that clearly can be falsified or just simply disappear. Right? So, whatever. You can hear it popping. So what I'm going to do, just so that I don't get depressed here, people, because you know I'm fucking crashing. I'm crashing hardcore here. Okay? So I'm going to clear off this little counter. When these are cool enough, I'm moving them over there. And I'm going to work on these freaking potatoes. So that's one less thing to worry about. And then tomorrow morning, I'll make sure the dishes are all done. And then tomorrow morning, I'll get up. I'll do at least one load of laundry. I should be doing 3, but, you know, I'm under pressure, right? Ain't nobody gonna help me anywhere, basically, in this fucking yard. So I have to find time to squeeze it in here and squeeze it in there, right? And I'm gonna do that tomorrow. So if I get even one load of laundry in before I go outside, that's fine. I'll do that. Getting kind of tired of it all. And when I move, well, obviously I don't want a big yard because I can't see shit anyway. So why would I want one? They're not fun. Unless you got good, you know, soil and shit. Oh, man, I gotta be careful. I'm popping these lids, I think. I don't know. No regrets. Oh no. So yeah, I'm thinking to give myself $100 a month challenge. I'll start with $100. I'll see how hard that is. If it was easy, and I can drop it down to $80 a month, then maybe I'll try that. To where I get down to $41 a month for groceries. I mean, that would be amazing. I could pay a lot of fucking bills. That's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. That's what I want to do. Yeah. I'm not obligated to be looking after my son anymore. No. All right. In terms of that mother with food in the cupboard. And we already know that wherever I go, I'm taking it with me. For the most part. So I need to make sure I have money to get there. And once I get there, you know, I might be on that $41 a month budget just to pay the fucking rent. Okay, so end of video. So now, I'm going to just let them cool for a while, clear off this counter, move them eventually over there gently, and then if I have the energy, I'm going to do those potatoes. And then I don't have to worry about that no more, because I don't want them to, they're still pretty good.